So we said we were gonna do it. We're moving to Mexico, and we did it. And we're gonna give you a summary of our first week. So we started our trip in Ocala, Florida, and then we drove to Miami in the middle of the night, and that was an experience in itself too.
Oh yeah. Orlando is ripe with hookers.
Oh Jesus, I forgot about that. I was thinking more like the bathroom that I used that time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty disgusting in Orlando.
Yeah.
Everybody that thinks it's all Disney World and
Yeah, not so much.
rides. Just, you know, be careful which exit you get off on, because Orlando feels a little unsafe, and we got to experience that.
Yeah.
And that was fun.
Fun's one word for it. When we got to the airport, it was like 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
5 a.m. We dropped off our car. We rented a car to go down there and do that because we left her car at her family's house. And when we were actually at the airport, we had Paisley, we had her in a carrier. She was really, like, we tried to get her accustomed to it for a few weeks leading up to the actual, like, flight, so that she wouldn't be freaked out being in a carrier, because she's not usually. We generally just have her with us all the time, and that's all it is. But we gave her a trazodone, and that, like, it helps relieve some anxiety and helps, like, calm her down and stuff, and that really helped a lot. She acted really well, but the bathrooms at the airport, oh man.
So they have designated dog areas for bathrooms, and basically you walk in, it's an enclosed area, and they have like fake grass that sits on like a water puddle. So when a dog goes to the bathroom, then you like flush the button, and like the grass sinks down and the water comes up, and it like cleans off the grass.
Yeah.
But it's soaking wet, and Paisley does not like to get her little tootsies wet.
No, she's a little...
She does not like wet grass at all.
No.
So we couldn't get her to go to the bathroom, so unfortunately we both felt so bad for her, because she basically didn't go to the bathroom for about 8 hours.
Yeah, because
between getting in the airport,
Yeah.
being on the plane, getting off the plane, and then taking her to the Airbnb. So that whole span, like, she didn't get to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, it was really rough. We tried, we really tried, but she wasn't willing. At least it wasn't like, I mean, generally she doesn't go all night either, so at least it wasn't like that crazy. It's just like,
We wanted her to be as comfortable as possible.
Exactly. She did go, she was fine going on the flight though, like she didn't get like too freaked out or nothing, like she just kind of...
The trazodone really helped.
Yeah, the trazodone really helped. And the vet recommended that right before we left, and it was very helpful.
We got on our flight, we landed, we had 2 checkpoints to go through. The first checkpoint was basically, we hand them our information that we pre-filled out online for our tourist visa, and then they checked our passports, and then they asked the reason we're there. We made it through that checkpoint, we got our luggage, and then we went over to the main checkpoint, which is basically, we identify anything that we're bringing in to Mexico, and luckily we weren't bringing in anything crazy besides Paisley, so they just had to do an inspection on her, and they checked her ears, they checked her face. It's just a physical inspection. We went ahead and we got a health certificate anyways, just to maybe help speed up that process, and that was helpful because they did ask for it, and we had her rabies and her vaccinations in a folder as well. But other than that, the flight didn't actually require us to have a health certificate, and Mexico doesn't require a health certificate. They just need to know she's had her rabies.
Yeah, it was really good. We actually honestly breezed right through all of the importing and the customs and everything, and before we knew it, we were just coming out the other end in Mexico.
Yeah,
it was very easy.
I think that was our first, like,
yeah, we were worried
what
about,
do we do now?
Right.
Because we made it, and like we stood there and like we're like, you go, no, you go.
Yeah.
And like we just walked through, and we did grab the first cab place, and I know I did the research, like it's much more expensive at the airport and comparatively to other cab services, but we really just wanted to get out of there and get going, so we took the cab service that offered it to us first. It ended up being like $13, and it was a 20-minute, or it ended up being 40 minutes because our cab driver couldn't figure out where we were going.
Yes.
But luckily we have a WhatsApp, and the Airbnb host actually did the location drop. So I gave the driver my phone, and he used the phone the whole time to get to our house or our Airbnb.
Yeah. I've since fixed the location too on Google Maps. That's a feature you can do just easily by changing or reporting problems. And so I just changed the address, and now when we have to find it or cabs have to find it, it's very easy, thankfully.
Yeah. So good job, Cody.
Thank you.
Our address is actually on Google now, which is nice. And from there we met our Airbnb host, and they were, oh my god,
this is so nice.
I can't speak enough about the kindness and just how like welcoming and generous, and they had us a whole thing of toilet paper and soap and
water.
Water, and the propane tanks were full, and it was just a great start to it, because obviously we didn't bring a whole lot because you know, customs and everything else. So yeah, that was really nice. They were awesome. There was a co-host, one spoke English, the other one didn't, so there was some translating going on. It was really nice. And we've been happy there so far.
Yeah, and we've been trying to do our best to learn Spanish up to this point as well. So like we did try to communicate a little bit, like with certain words, just to show them that we're trying.
Right.
And yeah, everybody's been so kind and generous, just like to give us the time that we need to explain and say what we're trying to say. And
patience,
yeah, that's very nice. It's a very different culture down here.
Yeah. So we spoke a little bit in our other videos, but cabs, driving, the whole like driving culture is scary to us. So the first thing when we got in our cab on our way to our Airbnb is it was a little bit new. It doesn't seem, I think like all the road signs and stuff are just a suggestion. Stop really means like yield, and green and red lights, I mean, they're kind of followed, but there's not actually a whole lot of green and red lights that we've seen so far.
Not really.
We're only like a week into Mexico, so this is just our experience so far. And so there's a lot of traffic circles, and the whole merging of the traffic circles is very intense. It's better now, like I'm used to it, but basically you just cut people off when you need to turn, and that's what everyone does. You just cut people off.
Yeah. And
we have seen a few accidents since we've been here, like just like pulled over with the cops and everything. Oh, and that's another thing is the cops are actually, you know, they let you know that they're cops. They just drive around with their lights like flashing. So it's that's different for me coming from America, whereas like I feel like it's more of an entrapment situation. In America is like undercover people sitting there waiting for you to mess up or do something, whereas like here they're just here to help. I could be wrong. This is just what we've seen so far. So and we're in Mérida, which is one of the safer cities, so that's just been our experience so far with that.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, even like last night, I was taking an Uber just to a grocery store, and we went through a checkpoint, but like it wasn't even like we didn't go through it ourselves. Like half the road was like checkpoint and the other half wasn't, and the cab would just go through. So there's also a lot of complicated things that we just don't even understand yet. Yes.
All right. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh god. Hey, that's pretty comfy. I feel like I'm like a cocoon.
Do you want me to hand you what you need?
Yes, please. Thank you. I wonder if I can.
You need the hard drive?
Yes. I wonder if I can, I have no idea what I'm doing in my head here. It's alright. It'll work. Yes.
You need a pillow?
You know what? That'd be really nice. Thank you. Maybe two. Wow. Rude. How does one hammock? Oh man.
You want to get with your daddy?
Oh my god.
Come on. Let's get with daddy.
I could just nap here actually. Hi baby. Hi. Oh, she doesn't like that. Flowers. Come here. Ow, 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 ow. It's okay. Yeah. Don't jump. God.
Hold her, don't let her jump.
Oh, baby, come here. I think she just doesn't like standing on this.
Because she's sitting.
You're so weird, baby. Yeah. You're so weird. It's okay. Come here. I bet if you put like a blanket down or something and she was laying on that, she'd be fine. She's like, yes, safety. This is your first hammock experience too, isn't it? Yeah. She's just like, God damn it. It's so precious. So precious.
Okay, I'm leaving.
You're welcome to whip out the other hammock and come cozy up.
I'm good. To our Airbnb, our host was great, and we needed to get some things. It was our first day there. We didn't have a fan. I need a fan to sleep with, so that was priority. And then I didn't bring my pillow, so we were gonna try and find a pillow. Basically just a few fundamental things that we needed to feel comfortable to sleep. So we decided to take an Uber to Walmart. And let me just say, they take Walmart very seriously here.
Yeah.
So when you enter, you have to, oh, Paisley, you have to hand sanitizer, take your temperature, and they have an officer standing there to make sure you're doing it. And you stand in line to go in the place, and everybody has to do that. So it was actually really nice and really comforting that they are taking it that seriously, because we're not used to that.
We're glad for it.
Yeah, we're happy for it. Yeah. We just weren't used to it.
Right.
So Cody couldn't come inside because he had Paisley in the backpack, and so I made the trip by myself, and I went inside. It's definitely way different layout than in America, so I didn't really know where to go, so I was just scanning the aisles. I found a pillow, but it had been opened, and I used a specific type of pillow, so that didn't work. So I gave up on the pillow search. I got a fan, definitely different type of fan, but it worked out, and we got what we needed to get through our first night at our Airbnb.
Yeah.
We didn't have any food, so we were. I got some like simple things like rice and popcorn because
we
love popcorn. And after that, we went ahead and took an Uber and went back to our place. After we got settled back in, we were starving, so we decided we're just gonna get food out somewhere like near us. Like we're just gonna buy food to go.
It was La Taco del
LTO Keto.
Yes, that's it.
And but nothing opens. That's something we've been having to get used to, is that nothing opens until like 5:30, 6 p.m. our time.
Right.
And we're early eaters.
Yeah.
Like we want to be eating by 5.
Typically.
Because we go to sleep early. So that's been an adjustment.
Yeah. Yeah, things of like, they open in the morning and then they close for the day, and then they open again in the evening, and then they're open late. Like really late, like midnight.
Well, no,
1,
there's
2.
a 10 p.m. curfew now.
Ah.
There's a curfew right now. But normally it's open late. But there's tons of little restaurants and food places in the area that we're in, Los Héroes, and so we got some food. That was an experience. We walk up and no habla inglés.
No habla inglés.
And we no habla español. So it was a lot of pointing.
Yeah.
And poquito understanding. And we figured it out. And the very first thing we got when we got here is we got nachos, because we knew what nachos were.
Yeah.
And then we got alambres because we didn't know what that was and we wanted to try something. And then we got one more thing.
Oh, tortas?
Tortas.
Tortas.
Which are basically sandwiches.
Yeah.
Like little slider sandwiches. So good.
So good.
So good.
We were under the understanding that pork is like something we should avoid generally, just because not always is everything getting cooked correctly. So that was something we wanted to keep an eye out, and we've been kind of being careful of because we try to avoid it when we can.
Plus, it doesn't particularly agree with me. I'm not.
Or me.
Yeah. Actually, our food, what we can eat is actually very specific, but it seems like the Yucatan food is actually in line with the things that we can eat. So it works out pretty well. Like, I love corn tortillas.
Yeah, they're really good.
So good. And they're gluten-free.
Yeah,
which
is
nice.
Something that I can't have.
So groceries, we went to Walmart and we got the things we needed, but we still hadn't really gotten groceries. Like, we wanted coffee and milk for our coffee, half and half for me, which isn't very popular here. Not that we found so far. It's more like whipping cream, and it's very, very heavy. Like it's like sludge kind of cream. Like it's
yeah.
But it's good. I got some whipping cream, and anyways, we didn't know where to get groceries from. We weren't comfortable. We were so chicken to go into one of the little stores. So we ended up looking on the Facebook Marketplace to see where other people in the expat Merida community go, or like how they order. And some of them order online. So we decided to take up that measure. Just in case you're here and you're trying to do the same thing, Rappi, R-A-P-P-I, or Rappi, or however it's pronounced, it gave us so much trouble. Like, I strongly discourage anyone using that. We had so much trouble. We put in service tickets to try and figure out how to make it work, and it wasn't working. So then we found the Corner Store. Yes.
Yeah.
Corner Store app. That works really well.
Very well.
There's lots of options. So we use that to order from Cheddar
Yes. Something like that.
Yeah. So we got our grocery order through there, and we just got the most basic things to get us through. And now we feel a little more comfortable in going to like stores actually close to us for things that we need. But that's how we finally got some groceries, because you just don't think that that's going to be an issue going somewhere, but it was definitely a journey for us from the first day.
Yeah, it was very big. We did manage to get into a corner store recently. We did work up the courage.
Yep. We finally worked up the courage and went to a local store near us and got a couple things we needed. Papel de baño and papel de toalla.
Speaking of papel de baño, so it's very common that toilet paper here is scented, and it seems to be a very, very big thing.
It's scented, so like lavender and almond and vanilla, I think.
Yeah, multiple other ones
like
we've seen
scents.
too.
And I personally don't want anything scented touching in that area, so that's my...
I feel the same way.
That's my preference, and so we have definitely not used that.
Right.
So we've had to... It's a learning experience, and we've actually bought a couple things of toilet paper, and they're scented, so we've just lost out on some money for that, but it's no big deal. It's a learning experience.
Right.
But yeah, so we found out that the toilet paper, there's rolls that have, so where you would normally have the cardboard inside of them, it's actually a small roll of toilet paper.
Yeah.
So you can actually push it out and bring it with you, so that if you need to use a public restroom, you have toilet paper to use, because we found that out today, is that when you need to use a public restroom, toilet paper is not provided and you have to pay.
Right, it was 5 pesos.
5 pesos. So after our first day, we go into our second day, and we're feeling strong. We're gonna take an Uber downtown, and we're just gonna start walking around and checking things out. So we decided to look on the Facebook group, the Merida expats, and we found a coffee place that everybody liked. So we looked on Google, and that's another thing. Google is not a reliable source for if things are open or if they still exist, or Google.
Very complicated.
No, yes. So you can look on Google and find some places, but then I recommend going on Facebook, since Facebook is so common to have their menu on there. So you can go to Facebook, find their menu, and then WhatsApp. Everything is WhatsApp.
Everything's WhatsApp.
So if you need something, you're basically texting someone on WhatsApp and saying, hey, I want this, and you give them your address, and then they bring it to you.
Yeah.
Which we love.
Yes, so nice.
So we go downtown, we find the coffee place that we want to go to, and it's closed.
Of course.
But Google said it was open, but we were sorely mistaken.
Yeah.
And so we're standing there in front of the closed coffee shop. It's very, very busy. People are walking like both sides of the street. On our side, there's like no room to like really like get out of people's way, but we really didn't know where to go. So we pull out our phones, and we're looking at our phones, trying to find somewhere else. And we just look up, and right across the street is an open coffee shop.
Yeah,
so
it was so perfect.
Yeah, so lucky, because it was like our first experience, and we were just nerve-wracked on what to do.
And we were hungry.
We were so hungry and we wanted coffee.
Yeah.
So we get, we walk across the street, and luckily they were nice enough to let Paisley in. We have her in a backpack, so it's not too bad. And then we order coffee, we split a muffin, and then we decide we're gonna go to a park nearby. At this time, I can't remember what the name of the park is, but I think it's like, yeah, it's like the one directly in the middle. So we decide to go to the park, and it's so beautiful. It's shaded,
so
there's trees, vendors are setting up, and we decided to just sit on the bench and use our phone. There's Wi-Fi everywhere all over this park, and we use that to figure out, we want to go to the pet store for Paisley, because we haven't gotten her food yet,
right? And
we need to figure it out. So we find a Petco, just because we're still at that time we were sticking to like big box stores,
things we
were comfortable with. So we decided to go to Petco, and that was an hour walk.
Yes, from the center of where we were at in that park. Yeah. And
we decided we were just gonna walk it, and we walk about halfway, and we go to Walmart, our pit stop, our famous pit stop for using the restroom, because that's all we're comfortable with so far.
Yeah.
And after that, we go ahead and we walk to Petco, and they were super nice. They helped us out, and we got a grain-free food for her. We got her a little toy, and we got her some dental chews. And then we took an Uber home. And that was it for day 1 and day 2, and we were exhausted. We got our groceries delivered to us, and I think we pretty much just relaxed the rest of that Sunday. Stayed home, kind of like sorted out our stuff, trying to like unpack and get things situated. And after that, I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we worked most of the week after that, and so we didn't get a chance to really explore or do anything different. We did keep trying different foods, so we kept ordering from different locations, trying to figure out what we did like, what we didn't like.
Yeah.
So we spent the rest of the week kind of just like working and getting ourselves ready for this week and making sure we had food and everything and all of our needs were met. And we spent most of the last portion of the week taking care of Paisley, bringing her to the vet, and we actually have a video up on that. I'll probably put the link like right here or something. So you can check that out for some information on that. But otherwise, that's about a summary of our first week. It's been really great. There's been a lot of learning, and we still have a lot to learn. But we gotta say, it's been a really good experience. So we're really thankful that people are so helpful, and we just really appreciate just like the culture and like how nice everyone is.
Thanks for following along with our journey, and we promise the videos are going to get better. And we're the Barn Burner Trio, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye.